But look at that, it's double the wins with Kyoji Horiguchi. Look at the difference in size, 5'10" to 5'5". Look at that reach advantage, Moro. That is a huge factor in this fight.
We're about to embark on the first of a possible 5 5-minute rounds for the Bellator Bantamweight title. Rising Bantamweight champion Kyoji Horiguchi drew first blood against Darion Caldwell. The bell and round one. Caldwell in the red gloves, Horiguchi in the blue gloves. Aside from the obvious, the biggest difference, fighting in a cage from a ring.
Well, it is, but Horiguchi...
What is the biggest difference?
Well, the biggest difference is, look at when you're in that ring, there's resets. There's the use of the ropes in getting yourself away from your opponent where you can't do that in the cage. There's all kinds of things that Horiguchi had the skill level of utilizing that Darion just didn't understand. This is more Darion's world, but it's also Horiguchi's world, and he will tell you he would rather fight MMA in a cage than he would in a ring.
Caldwell became Bellator Bantamweight champion in October of 2017, defeating Eduardo Dantes at Bellator 184, and Caldwell utilizing his wrestling early, looking for the takedown on Horiguchi, and has his back. Caldwell, the bigger of the two champions.
By far the bigger man, but you know, when you look at that, there's advantages and disadvantages. That was a huge elbow, and that's what we were talking about, the difference for Darion Caldwell. He utilizes big elbows, and he thinks it's going to be a big difference in this fight. The question is, does he lose too much weight? Is he going to start to get tired? Because the longer the fight goes, the more I think it goes towards Kyoji Horiguchi.
6 of Caldwell's 7 victories by KO or submission have come in the opening round, and he's immediately on top of Horiguchi. How is Horiguchi off his back, John?
He's very good off of his back. He's got a very effective guard. You can see right now, even with his positioning, he's keeping Darion at a position where he's off center, keeping his back against the cage and utilizing the cage to get back to his feet.
Horiguchi 27-2, 14 knockouts, 3 submission victories. Caldwell 13-2 with 2 knockouts and 5 subs. So a huge edge and experience for Horiguchi.
Darion has laced that arm behind the back, and that's why he's opening up with those big right elbows. Look at him, you can see he's got Horiguchi's left arm trapped behind his back.
Caldwell began wrestling at the age of 9, was a 3-time New Jersey State Wrestling champion. He wrestled D1 in college for North Carolina State and was the 2009 NCAA Division I National Champion.
A big difference in the opening 2.5 minutes of this fight compared to their first fight, and it's all due to those elbow strikes.
Horiguchi has 9 victories via first-round knockout or submission. Started karate at 5 years of age as a Shotokan karate black belt. At the age of 16, saw Pride Fighting Championships event and became addicted to mixed martial arts. Trained under his hero, the late great Norifumi Kid Yamamoto. Made his pro debut in May of 2010, under 2 minutes left, and Caldwell keeping Horiguchi pinned to the mat.
Keeping him pinned there, but he's accepting a position of clasping his hands behind Horiguchi's back while Horiguchi lands these shots. That's not smart by Darion. He needs to think about, I can pull his hips out and attack. I've got to pass that guard.
Coming up on the final 90 seconds of our opening round, Caldwell utilizing his wrestling early to take down Horiguchi, but is unable to maximize this position. And you're right, Horiguchi's the one who's imposing the offense with those strikes as Caldwell remains in a position. And what do you think Caldwell's attempting to do here, John?
He's attempting to control the position and put Horiguchi where he wants.
Oh, there's another one that landed for Caldwell.
And look at here, the big difference in this round, Horiguchi is landing these little strikes, but they're doing no damage. But you're looking at the strikes that Caldwell is landing. They have been big, heavy strikes.
Under a minute left in the first frame. Half guard being employed by Horiguchi. Caldwell looking again to try to find an opening, try to find a way to...
Stop!
Referee is...
What we have is Horiguchi is holding on to Caldwell's glove. Caldwell's holding on to Horiguchi's glove in the
Ready? Turn. Fight.
And that's why he's out of the position. He was holding on to Horiguchi's glove. Horiguchi was trying to tell the referee Todd Anderson sees it, and that's why he breaks him and sets her, starts him on the feet.
"15 seconds left in the first round, and Caldwell and Horiguchi renewing hostilities here in Bellator MMA, and a solid start for Caldwell. Bell, this is round number 2. Two great camps being represented in this championship fight. Caldwell fighting on a team alliance, head trainer Eric Del Fierro. And while Horiguchi makes his home in Japan, he trains with American top team in Coconut Creek, Florida, as head trainer, former WEC champion Mike Brown.
You know, an outstanding fighter in his day. He was the first guy to really, he took the crown from Uriah Faber, but what a trainer he has become. Mike Brown is phenomenal as a trainer and says that Kyoji Horiguchi is the hardest training guy he has ever seen.
And what about what Eric Del Fierro has been able to accomplish at Team Alliance?
Well, I'll tell you what, Eric Del Fierro, with the help of Dominic Cruz, has created a super camp down in San Diego where those guys are just a bunch of killers.
Southpaw Caldwell fishing for a head kick. Horiguchi darting in and out of range. Then Caldwell 5'10", Horiguchi 5'5". There's a head kick, but partially blocked by Horiguchi.
And you see Horiguchi pressing the issue. He's not backing away. He's looking for that opportunity to get inside to land those shots because he has to get past that range of Darian.
What a way to kick things off with this Bellator Bantamweight Championship fight. Caldwell looking not only to defend the title, but even the series with Horiguchi. And he has already mentioned, when he wins tonight, he'll go to Japan and then vie for the Rising Bantamweight title, and they could complete their trilogy. So obviously confidence oozing out of both fighters heading into this rematch as Caldwell shoots the single.
Nice clean shot. Runs it down, but you look at exactly what Horiguchi did. He got himself all the way to the cage where he can get his back against it to get himself back up.
We saw this in the opening round. You talked a little bit about what Caldwell could do looking at it from this position. He wasn't able to improve his position. How can he do so here?
Well, he did improve his position eventually. He got to that half guard position, which is an improvement from being where he's got, you know, basically a guard position here.
But he's just sitting there again on top, putting his weight on
what he needs to do. I need to stop being just the wrestler at this moment and trying to pull my opponent's hips away from the cage and get him down on his back because it hasn't worked. So let me break free and strike and land big shots. They're going to damage and break my opponent down.
Every fighter's mental makeup is different, but we've seen it even on the undercard. Caldwell coming off a big loss in Japan. Does that speak to maybe being a little more conservative, sticking to his bread and butter early, just imposing his will and skill and just making sure that he executes his game plan at any step?
Absolutely. Look, no doubt, look, when you lose a fight, you got to go back and say, okay, where did I make my mistakes? And he made a lot in that first fight. And a big part of it was his inability to keep Horiguchi on the ground. And that's what he's trying to change right here.
And now, Caldwell again, Horiguchi against the fence, but Horiguchi dropping those left hands. Minute and a half left in the second round.
Darian needs to stop just grabbing the weights. If he's going to grab and put his hands and get that gable grip, then he needs to start to lift back, bringing Horiguchi's hips off of the cage and start to put him flat on his back.
Caldwell talking to us about what ex-UFC champion Dominic Cruz has meant to him, and especially you look at angles and footwork. I mean, Cruz changed the game.
Oh, no doubt about it. And you can see a lot of times Darian, when he's very confident, he starts to bring a footwork out that mimics Dominic Cruz very much. You'll notice tonight, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that because he's always unsure of where Horiguchi is going to come from. See, right now, this is the difference of Horiguchi's actually fighting. Darrion Caldwell is trying to control, and the fight should always be won by the guy trying to fight, not the guy trying to control.
And the referee brings them back up to their feet. Caldwell telling us that the rematch would go one way, him taking down Horiguchi and punishing him. He's taken Horiguchi down. He hasn't really punished him yet.
No, well, he did in the first round with some big shots, but in this second round, he has done nothing to diminish Horiguchi, and Horiguchi's the guy landing the strikes.
Well, round number 3, talk about the adjustments that Horiguchi has to make as we look at your unofficial scorecard, John. Talk about it through 2 rounds.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind Caldwell won that first round, landed the bigger shots. But in the second round, he didn't land any big shots. In fact, he just wrestled, he got position, but he was accepting small strikes. And look at, when you did nothing with your submission game, nothing to do anything to finish the fight against Horiguchi, he wins the round.
Talk about potential adjustments for each fighter as Horiguchi goes to the air with that knee strike. Now the sprawl, north side position. Horiguchi looking for the guillotine again, just like in Japan.
What Darrion needs to do right now is control that hand, take his time. In my opinion, he's the guy that can win all the scrambles when it comes to the wrestling game. He can take chances, but the problem is, and this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the fight, I think Darrion's starting to get tired. It is that weight cut. He is losing so much weight in that weight cut that he's losing his ability to maintain that energy to keep the pace.
Looking for that elevator sweep with the butterfly hooks. Caldwell, who is on the bottom now. Horiguchi looking to pass guard, and Horiguchi has the 3 submission wins, a rear naked choke, an arm triangle, and the guillotine choke victory against Caldwell. Now in half guard, open half guard, could try to slip to side control, but now electing to just put the pressure on Caldwell.
And you're seeing Horiguchi, what he's trying to do is he's trying to create pressure with his hips to free his leg to get himself out of the half guard, more to a side control position. But at least he's starting to open up and starting to utilize some strikes. That's what you want to see from the guy on top.
Caldwell telling us that he expected Horiguchi to be stronger, faster, and more confident in this, the rematch, but he told us that he's going to shut his body off. He knows it's the biggest fight of his career. His belt is on the line. And actually, Caldwell's last fight here in Bellator took place at featherweight, to your point, John. Potentially moving up. He stopped Noah Lahat via second round TKO. He is 7-0 at 145.
Well, I want you to think about it more. Back in 2009, when he won the NC2A championships, he won that at 149 pounds. He is fighting at 135 now. That's a huge drop in weight.
Midway point of the round and the fight, with Horiguchi in top position, the open guard of Caldwell.
And this is the difference of what you're seeing is when Horiguchi was put on his back by Caldwell, he gets himself to the cage and he does not accept the position. He continues to work his way out of it, and you're not seeing that from Caldwell.
Horiguchi and Caldwell back on their feet. The southpaw swings wildly. The sprawl by Horiguchi. And immediately Horiguchi back in the half butterfly guard of Caldwell.
I'm sorry, that right there just tells you Darrion Caldwell is tired. He was on his knees, able to come up. He did not, he just fell to his back. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy off of his back. This is not the area where he wins fights.
Second rematch in Caldwell's career. Lost to Joe Tamanglo and was able to avenge that loss. And here tonight looking to avenge the setback in the land of the rising sun with 90 seconds left here in round 3. And series of punches by Horiguchi showing the referee that he's staying busy.
Nice job by Horiguchi trying to jump his back.
And those left hands delivered by Horiguchi. Caldwell back up to his feet. A knee on the exit. And a front kick from Caldwell. A minute left in the third round. Another knee. Left, and now they're exchanging punches. Left uppercut. Sprawl by Horiguchi. But will Caldwell be able to persevere? It's Horiguchi here implementing his offense.
Well, right now, Caldwell's in a good position to put him flat on his back
And
when he got the fence. Now posture and start raining down damaging strikes. But there goes Horiguchi again. Not accepting the position, Morrow.
Caldwell with 5 submission wins, 3 guillotine chokes, 2 rear naked chokes, and now under 30 seconds left, Horiguchi with his back against the fence in a seated position. And you know, expending a lot of energy, both of them. With Caldwell imposing his will on top and Horiguchi trying to keep the bigger man off him, or at least trying to stymie his offensive attempts. We are through 3 rounds in this rematch for the Bellator Bantamweight title. This is round number 4 of a possible 5. Bantamweight champion Darrion Caldwell defending his Bellator belt against rising champion Kyoji Horiguchi. John, after 3 rounds, how do you wait? Here's Horiguchi again fishing for that choke.
Fishing for it, but he does not have it right at this moment when it's getting tight.
Will it be deja vu all over again for Darrion Caldwell? And he pops his head out. Your unofficial scorecard after 3 rounds, how does it read and why?
Officially, I have Horiguchi ahead 2 rounds to 1 right now. 10-9 on each round. And the reason why is, look at, he's the guy who's trying to end the fight. There was that nice moment at the end, the 3rd round, with Caldwell, but it wasn't enough to overcome all the minutes that he let run by.
We saw Caldwell receiving instructions from both Eric Del Fierro and Dominic Cruz. I've had opportunities to interview Cruz on myriad occasions over the years when he was the champion, and I always thought to myself, this guy's going to make an excellent coach and an excellent analyst, and he's gone on to prove me right on both counts.
Both counts. And one of the things that you saw Dominic doing in his corner was he was trying to psychologically tell Caldwell, you're not tired. You're not tired. Tell yourself you're not tired. And that's important because right now, Darrion Caldwell is saying, oh, tired.
Caldwell just trying to keep Horiguchi. Horiguchi throwing some left hands, continues to pepper the side of Caldwell's head.
Yeah, definitely it's doing no damage to Caldwell, but it's adding up. It's just a volume.
Cumulative.
I mean, when you look at, there's nothing else that comes up in the striking area, the judge is going to go, well, there you go. He landed all those shots, even though they weren't real hard, they landed.
No stalemate, gentlemen. Let's get some action. Let's go.
Well, the fight is receiving Bronx cheers, Mr. McCarthy.
Well, there was a really slick elbow that Caldwell just hit Horiguchi with, but Caldwell's making a huge mistake in making this a wrestling match and thinking he can win this fight by just out-controlling his opponent. That's going to get him a big L.
And again, Horiguchi feeding steady stream. You're right, just peppering him. No damage whatsoever, but the accumulation, and he's the one who's busy.
Yeah, because you look at what is Darrion doing right now is he's wrestling.
Spending energy.
He's on top, but he's not doing anything towards working towards the submission, working towards doing damaging strikes. Right now, all the judges are seeing a guy is sitting there getting hit.
It's not effective energy in a way. I mean, so what is the plan here? What should he be doing, Caldwell, in this position?
Look at him. My opinion, his corner should have been telling him, if you put him against the cage and his back goes up there, unlock your hands and just start to unload on him. If he gets up for the position, no problem.
Agree with the stand-up.
Absolutely.
Should he have done it sooner?
Yes, he should have.
Right hand connects for Horiguchi. Kick by Caldwell blocked.
And this right now, when you have a guy like Horiguchi who's very fast and elusive, and you're tired and you have to move, this is where you start to go into that deficit if you're Caldwell.
First kick to the chest by Caldwell. Looking for a spinning move. Kick by Horiguchi, just glancing off the rib cage of Caldwell. Final minute of the 4th.
You can just see in the movement, Caldwell is starting just to dive with that kick right there.
And Horiguchi avoids it.
Horiguchi's your fighter that's coming forward. He's looking to do things in the fight to finish the fight. And right now, I'm looking at Caldwell, looking and saying, he doesn't look like he's happy where he's at. Took a big shot right there.
Horiguchi riding a wave of momentum with 12 consecutive victories coming into his Bellator MMA debut, turning the tables on Caldwell, looking to change levels, thwarted by Caldwell. Final 10 seconds of the penultimate round. We are headed to the 5th and final round of this Bellator Bantamweight Championship bout. 29-year-old Kyoji Horiguchi in his 30th professional fight against the 31-year-old Bellator Bantamweight champion Darrion the Wolf Caldwell in his 60th pro bout. And round 5, where you have to pull out all the stops, right, Big John?
No doubt about it. Look at, your title is on the line, and if you think that you've got this, you could definitely be wrong. You need to go for that finish. Right now, I have Horiguchi winning this round, and I have it to where Darrion Caldwell needs to finish Horiguchi or have a big round to get it back.
Horiguchi leading him with the left, and Caldwell again. And we have seen this movie a few times tonight.
Well, the one thing is Caldwell is in his corner, so if you're in his corner, you need to be telling him, let go with your hands and start blasting it.
And the audience at MSG doesn't like reruns.
You cannot sit here trying to hold on to his legs and think that you're going to win this fight by being the guy that's sitting on top. This is not a good position for Darrion. He needs to open up to do damage.
There's always the conversation about the scoring of takedowns and how they should be scored. John, elucidate a little bit on that.
Well, you can look at that takedown. That really wasn't a takedown. It was an actual takedown by Horiguchi that ended up in a scramble that he overshot, and Darrion gets position. But Caldwell, from his position, when you have a takedown that is just almost a given, the judge is going to wait and see what you do with that position, and if you do nothing offensive with it, he's not going to give you much credit for it.
Horiguchi tattooing the rib cage with those right hands. Both of Caldwell's losses have come via guillotine choke, and Horiguchi maneuvering for another attempt.
And right now, if you're looking at it, Morrow, would you say that a takedown in this position for Darrion is doing him good or doing him bad?
It's static.
Bingo. So it's not working to your advantage to get that takedown and just keep yourself in this position.
Horiguchi trying to cinch that guillotine choke in.
And again, he's searching for a submission. What is he trying to do? He's trying to finish the fight.
Yes, incremental position, trying hand grappling now. And still plenty of time left in the round. Over 2 minutes left in this championship fight. Dominic Cruz imploring Caldwell to elevate his legs under your chest.
And he didn't do it. Now his chin's in a bad position with Horiguchi. He needs to be careful. Don't allow your chin to stick down. Keep your head up, pressed against him.
The coaches are giving him the right advice. He's not listening.
Exactly, and that's, you know, sometimes when you are in that position, do you listen to your coaches? Are you able to take that information and put it into action? And right now we're seeing that Caldwell is not able to do that.
They're talking transitions, John.
Well, they're also talking an arm triangle. They were talking a lot of things, but all of them are something that does something to try to end the fight.
And Horiguchi looking to get back to his feet. A knee from Caldwell. Again, looking for the takedown. Secures it. But will he try to improve position? Will he try to finish? Horiguchi with less than a minute left. It's Horiguchi again in implementing the offensive strikes.
You see Darian burying his head under the leg to try to keep that from happening.
And that could result in
a triangle.
potential trouble.
Darian is so close to being put into a triangle right now. Now there's nothing.
Final 30 seconds of our opening contest here at Bellator 222. A cut under the right eye of Horiguchi, trickling blood.
That was from that one elbow that he brought up.
And it did damage.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
So after their first meeting at the Saitama Super Arena in New Year's Eve in Japan, they go the distance in the rematch for the Bellator Bantamweight title, much to the chagrin of the audience at MSG.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance in this world title fight will go to your judges' scorecards. Your first judge, David Torelli, scores the fight 48-47, while judges Derek Cleary and Douglas Crosby both see the fight the same, 49-46. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision. And now the new Bellator Bantamweight World Champion, Kyoji Horiguchi.
Kyoji Horiguchi, a die-hard fisherman, came fishing in America for the Bellator Bantamweight Championship.
Tail the tape for this one brought to you by Takedown, official apparel partner of Bellator Champion Series. Herman Terrado, 5 years older. Kikuiri is 3 inches taller. And you can see a 6-inch advantage in reach on the arm, favoring Kikuiri.
Well, the next fight of the night will feature the welterweight division as we're set now for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing out of the blue corner at 5'9", weighing in 170.5 pounds as a professional. 15 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw. Hailing originally from Guam, he's fighting out of San Diego, California. Herman the Titan Terrado. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 6 foot, weighing in 169 pounds even as a professional. 9 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw. Out of Funabashi, Chiba, Japan, introducing Masayuki Kikuiri. And your referee in charge, Mike Beltran.
Referee getting a little ovation there. Love that.
You love the pop for the referee. And the glorious stash. Kikuiri is in the black. Terrado is in the white. 3 5-minute rounds.
First round. Good fight. Let's go.
Southpaw stance for Kikuiri. Big hook misses there for Terrado.
One thing that can be hard to use with opposite stances is the lead jab. It can be hard for southpaws to throw against orthodox fighters. It can be a little difficult using that reach advantage. Terrado already more patient than I've seen him in other fights.
Just out the kick. You never want to overgeneralize when you're talking about fighters from certain regions, but Masayuki Kikuiri, he definitely embodies that Japanese style of fight IQ and patience and true martial arts application.
Technical. You're not going to see a lot of overreach. You're not going to see a lot of mistakes. Excellent transitions on the ground. He definitely embodies that. Just took a risk. Coming forward a bit, resets again. That cerebral approach. That's what Japanese fighters are famous for. Here's Bart. Terrado being very patient so far. Doing a good job picking his spots to get inside, taking on a much taller, rangier fighter. Moves like that are going to help.
There he tried that traveling hook, just touched the chin of Kikuiri.
Nice hook.
Good speed on it from Herman Terrado.
You see the hand of Kikuiri. It came up after that hook. He did not like that. Wants to stay solid defensively.
And you'll see Terrado then start to begin throwing things behind that hook if he can land it.
Switching stances from Kikuiri, maybe to take some sting off that lead hook. It's a great weapon against the southpaw, now going orthodox.
And it does bring the jab back into play for the taller fighter.
See those little tactical adjustments. Great stuff from Kikuiri.
Little blood trickling from the eyebrow of Masayuki Kikuiri after that hook.
That's the thing about Terrado. He only needs one. Very, very powerful. Good job with the lead hand from Kikuiri.
Continuing to throw those push kicks, keeping Terrado out of bay. Doubled up the hook and thought about the right hand behind it.
Terrado now pulling in behind the power shots. Good job getting inside with the takedown.
Nice flare on the legs. Kikuiri working back to vertical quickly.
Terrado seemed a little hesitant to bring his weight down into guard. Does score points with that takedown, though.
Approaching the 1 minute mark here in the first round. Early card action, Bellator Champion Series San Diego.
What I didn't expect here, really, that I'm seeing now is both guys fighting a very disciplined fight. You know, Terrado's not going crazy, spending a bunch of gas early. Kikuiri staying very technical as well.
He's got double unders for now. Now the repummel from Herman Terrado takes it away. A good flurry as Kikuiri tried to exit. Terrado chased him out of the corner.
Yeah, Kikuiri blocked those shots. They still hurt with those small gloves.
Terrado tried that toss. Tried to hip toss, but Kikuiri was wise to it, settled his weight back, and takes the back of Herman Terrado with only 10 seconds to work in round one.
And I don't think he's going to have time to get the finish here. We were surprised earlier tonight with Hokit, but this one definitely going to round two.
There's the end of round one. Round two underway here at welterweight. Jimmy, we talked about the fact that Terrado has not been a stamina-based fighter because of that muscle, because of that size, but it was a more measured approach in round one. Perhaps he's learned.
And also, this is a round where it's going to show. Round number two is going to let me know how your pacing is, how much gas you have. It starts showing midway through round number two, generally speaking.
Little clash of the heads accidentally as Terrado came crashing in, trying that leaping hook and then a uppercut behind it.
He's got to take some risks to close distance. Did it very efficiently in round number one. Found his moments. He kind of bait Kikuiri in and then tried to explode with the left hook.
Orthodox stance again here from Kikuiri. I think he liked having the jab at his disposal. Khabib Nurmagomedov backstage. He'll be cornering his cousin Usman in the main event.
Scoring that round number one, it's kind of about what you appreciate as a judge. Both guys had their moments. Kikuiri, though, able to finish strong, and that usually sticks with the judges.
Nifty left hand from Masayuki Kikuiri and an exchange of jabs. Nice work behind the jab for Terrado. See if he can string something together behind it. Rips to the body, does Terrado.
Both guys so far kind of one and done in terms of combination. Where it's the jab and the left hook. That lead hand is working, but not a lot of follow-up. Not a lot of combination striking so far. Little surprise, Kikuiri with that reach advantage hasn't tried more leg kicks. Terrado very heavy on that lead leg. You need that to make the lead hook work. Just like that. Surprised he hasn't done that a little bit more often. Sean, you hear it all the time in the gym, right? Just touch it. Just touch it. Doesn't have to be hard. Just touch it. Put hands on him. It seems like Kikuiri doing that a little bit more in round number 2.
He did put a stiff right hand straight to the midsection of Herman Terrado, trying to suck some of that wind away. 2 minutes remain here in the second frame. Terrado not really showing signs of slowing significantly. Could have been a point of emphasis in camp. Another rip to the body from Kikuiri, that time as he stepped through and switched stances.
You feel like Kikuiri more in round number 2 is kind of pecking away a little bit. Not as concerned with landing one big shot.
Temporary off balance there. And a stiff leg kick again from Masayuki Kikuiri. Good combination from Terrado. 90 seconds left in round 2.
Sneaky uppercut there from Kikuiri, right through the guard. How's your Japanese, Sean?
Not quite conversational. Can't tell you what's being said. That is the Terrado corner, so.
That is Barrett Yoshida, by the way, that made his seat on the right-hand side. OG in the grappling game.
Single leg here from Terrado. Creating this scramble. But now Masayuki Kikuiri wrestled himself into the advantageous position. Gonna have to be careful with his head and these elbows from Terrado, though.
But once again, he made that commitment. 30 seconds left to go in the round. So, judges tend to remember how the round finished, and this round is finishing with Kikuiri on top. Kimura probably not going to be a factor in this amount of time.
One more pull on that arm from Herman Terrado before that second round bell. Back to the corners they go. Herman Terrado in the white trunks, Masayuki Kikuiri in the black. Good leg kick there.
Now here's the part where you're Terrado. You spend what you got in the next 5 minutes. Can't take your punches home with you. Been pacing himself well so far.
A hook and a back fist, and Terrado chased forward with his own hook. Masayuki Kikuiri continues to peck away at the legs and midsection with those kicks. Now a clean combination.
Another clash of heads, it looks like. And this is where, as you know, the leg kicks, the body work, you start feeling it in round number 3. Kikuiri getting a little bit of that done in rounds 1 and 2. But he doesn't want to start getting brave and getting into exchanges. Terrado's still very, very powerful.
There's that left hook again. That's been the best strike for Terrado in this fight. Some of the sting coming off as the fatigue wears on those legs, along with the leg kicks. Masayuki Kikuiri staying long with his jabs and his front kicks. Drives another shin into the body.
Sneaky right hand.
Well-timed knee from Kikuiri, but jammed up just a bit by the forward motion of Terrado. More jabs from the former Pancrase champion out of Japan.
Inside on a single leg, and this is a lot of energy if he doesn't get this takedown.
Halfway through round number 3. And Masayuki Kikuiri is able to reverse position
Easily. Now just moved him around, and that's a position where Terrado a lot of times is dominant.
Nasty body kick, body shot. And the left hands to make it academic. Masayuki Kikuiri drives a shin into the liver of Herman Terrado for the finish.
Lightning strike to the right side. When you take a body shot and you yell like that, it is over.
It's official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, it comes to an end. 2 minutes, 54 seconds into round number 3. The winner by TKO, Masayuki Kikuiri.
Our tail of the tape for this flyweight matchup. 25-year-old against 31-year-old. Rizen's Watanabe is a bit taller and will have a slight reach advantage.
She is taller. That 3 inches could be an advantage, but it can also work against her when she's going for those takedowns against Joanie.
Michael C. Williams.
Bellator Japan now presents 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division live on Paramount Network. We introduce first the blue corner at 5'6", weighing in 124.8 pounds. In her Bellator debut, she comes in undefeated, 8 wins, no losses, 1 draw. Fighting out of Tokyo, Japan, presenting Kana Watanabe. And across the cage, her adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'3", weighing in 125.9 pounds, just off an impressive debut in the Bellator cage. She comes in tonight with 9 professional victories, 4 defeats. From Fortaleza, she fights out of Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil. Introducing Lara, Arya Stark, Joanie. In charge, your referee, Kevin McDonald.
Kevin McDonald, our referee for this flyweight matchup. Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Saitama Super Arena. Kana Watanabe, Lara Joanie. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. We are underway. Watanabe in the blue gloves, Joanie in the red gloves.
Watanabe has been working really hard at her stand-up and trying to get that ability to counter-strike. She talked about her counter-strikes are different, but she's going to have to be careful about the way that Joanie hides her hands behind her kicks or hides her kicks behind her hands. She does things a little bit that are not the norm, and you got to get used to it.
Captain, the coach, Eric Albarracin, was telling us when Henry Cejudo was in the gym in Scottsdale, Arizona, he wasn't really holding back too much. And Lara Joanie and Henry Cejudo, the champion, had some entertaining sparring sessions, if you will.
Well, one of the things that Joanie talked about is the confidence that she has gained since going to the Pitbull Brothers, since being able to work out. Big right hand and left hand right there by Joanie. It's that confidence that's the difference in who she is as a fighter today. Big shot. She is hurt, Mike. Watanabe got stunned by that.
Absolutely. She tried to grab the leg, John, but could not do so. And there's another left that connects.
One of the things that Watanabe's doing right now, look at her head. It is right down the center line. It is not moving, and it is just a clear target for Joanie at this moment.
And Joanie's punches are very straight, on target, mixed up, lead hook, and now looking to take it to the ground.
Nice job by Watanabe using that arm. Joanie going for that knee bar. She does not have that leg in a position. She's got to extend the body out. She needs to be very careful. When you're going for this, your head is in a position where your opponent can attack. That's not a good position to be in. Sometimes you just got to say, I don't have it. Let me just get myself safe. Working towards the triangle. It's not there yet. It's getting closer.
6-fight win streak for Watanabe.
It's on right now. Watanabe's trying to change that angle on it. Joanie's in a good position, but she definitely needs to start pulling down on that head. She's trying to just hold that arm so she cannot be strong. But if she increases the pressure by pulling the head down with those legs, it can create the pressure enough to put Watanabe out.
Showing the versatility at the young age of 25.
Well, this is what you're talking about. Nice elbows underneath. She doesn't have the arms. Right now, she's just triangling the legs, her legs with the head. So the arm is not in place for a triangle to work. But right now, Watanabe was stuck in that position.
Watanabe trying to work herself free. Joanie talked about the very high-level judo possessed by Tokyo's Watanabe, but she feels she's better not just on the feet, but on the ground as well.
And this is when we talk about a grappler taking the fight to the ground, as Watanabe wanted to do when she grabbed a hold of that arm. She has been in this position, but all she has been doing is she's been remaining on top. She hasn't been doing any kind of submission attempt. She hasn't. She's been put in the worst positions. She's accepted the elbow strikes. She needs to start opening up. She was losing this round on the feet, and so far she hasn't even come close to gaining any space. She's actually given up more ground.
Side control for Watanabe. Yet to be defeated. Good ground and pound. Trying to pin that arm, John.
She's trying to. Right now, she doesn't have a whole lot with the shots. There's not a lot of power to them. It's more of a, she's touching her. There's just no damage being done with those shots. Seeing that Joanie's going for a Kimura grip. She doesn't have that either right now. She's entwined the arm, but her hands are not in the position they need to be for her to get that.
Under 30 seconds now, round number 1. Bellator's Lara Joanie in the red gloves. Rizin's Kana Watanabe in the blue gloves.
Watanabe creating a lot of pressure with that shoulder, turning Joanie's head and looking for a head and arm choke on that side.
10 seconds.
Doesn't have a whole lot of time.
Good shots. Watanabe, very good at the end of the round.
Stop! Yeah, but he's going for that belt in the tournament, the lightweight tournament they have.
I was just being positive.
You are absolutely being positive the whole way.
Pitbull Brothers product, Lara Joanie, very dominant early with her stand-up. Your scorecard.
My scorecard reads 10-9 for Joanie, and you got to remember, she had hurt Watanabe. Watanabe was in trouble in that round. Damage is what you're looking for. Not that Watanabe didn't do a good job getting her to the ground, but when she was on the ground, wasn't able to do enough damage to make up what occurred early in the round.
Patricio victorious in his first fight of our featherweight World Grand Prix. The man he defeated at 155 in our co-main event later tonight, Iron Michael Chandler. Partner Joanie did a nice job of defending that judo toss of Kana Watanabe a moment ago, or at least the attempted toss.
Yeah, and it's what you're looking is the way that Watanabe trained. she chains all these techniques together. That's what's making her successful. She doesn't just go after one thing and stop. She swings the leg one way. She comes back on the opposite side, looking for the trip, looking for the Horiguchi. She's outstanding in that, but beautiful transition by Joanie to end up on top. You know, Joanie's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so it's not like she doesn't understand what to do on the ground.
Right now, in the guard of Kana Watanabe. Joanie very aggressive. Her boyfriend Arthur Lima, a 7-1 lightweight. They call him Mr. Knee Bar in her corner tonight.
She says that's where she learned the knee bar that she pulled off on Beck Rawlings. So if that's who she learned it from, he obviously knows what he's doing.
Does that also mean that he knee barred her about 100 times in practice?
More than that.
Yeah. I wouldn't think that's a great way to, you know, keep a relationship going, but, you know.
Now, what we're seeing is the exact same thing in opposite we had in the first round. You can see Joanie's in the top position. She's got that leg lace, but she's just grappling, and all these little shots are not hurting her. But that's the most action in trying to end the fight that's going on. Watanabe's the one that's doing something. Right now, nothing out of Joanie except holding.
Lara, Joanie said, I hope to fight the champion by the end of the year. I'm sure she's talking about the year 2020. Big admiration for Alimale McFarland. And once again, congratulations to Alimale for her fourth title defense a week ago in her home state, her home island of Oahu.
What Joanie was trying to do is she was trying to go for a knee bar with her legs from the top position. She was just never close to getting that done. Joanie needs to get her head out from being down towards that ground, get her head high, and start to either bring Watanabe over to the canvas, putting her back to the canvas, or start opening up with heavy shots.
Lara Joanie, John, had such a clear advantage and was doing so much damage on the feet.
Yep.
Then initiated the ground game in round one, and that's what we've seen throughout round two.
Yeah, and she, you know, it's in these situations where you're looking at a fighter and they get so focused on, I'm on top, I want to remain on top, let me just keep working this position. You're not doing anything in that position. So if it's, I'm going to back out, then back out, exit with a shot, get back to your feet. You have a distinct advantage on your feet. Why are you playing into her game? Watanabe turning her over now.
More shots.
Yep.
Good ground and pound. These ones are landing.
They got more power to him. She's in the up position. She's able to bring a little more power with him.
Late in the round again, Kevin McDonald right on top of the action.
Yeah, but he's not seeing any damage, and that's what he's looking for, and that's why you don't see him coming close to stopping this.
And it's late in the round again for Watanabe. Set for the third and final round. Red gloves for Joanie, blue gloves for Watanabe. And what'd you score round two, partner?
No doubt in my mind, that was an easy round. Watanabe 10-9. And she's going back to that ground position where she has been dominant in the second round because she was just at least being busy. Nice takedown by Watanabe.
Close guard. But again, it's those skills in judo that have led this fight to the ground in round two and now again in round three.
Her ability to unbalance Joanie on the feet, bringing her down to the ground where she wants to be, that has been the difference.
Elbows from the bottom.
It's clear that Watanabe wants to show that her stand-up is, you know, evolving But in this fight against Joanie, she's been taking big shots. So why am I going to play that game? She's been very smart in getting close, closing the distance, grabbing an arm, and using all of that judo skill to put Joanie on her back. Joanie going after an armbar attempt here. The leg position is not exactly where you want to be. The elbow is in place. It's a matter of extending her hips. She realizes she doesn't have it. Let's go with it.
Watanabe said this fight will end in a finish. 3.5 minutes to do so, and hold true to her statement pre-fight. Top position for Tokyo, Japan's Kana Watanabe. And Big John has it even after 2 rounds.
Watanabe having a problem freeing her hands, but just stepped over into a half guard position and is postured up. She's got the ability to use the cage as a balance point so she can't be thrown back. Nice shot. This is a definite advantage for that half guard position. She just took away a lot of those submissions that Joanie was looking for.
And John, you and I made the comment yesterday at the weigh-ins. Lara Joanie, 5'3", 120, but Kana Watanabe is a big, strong 5'6".
Yeah.
More than 125 once she rehydrates.
We were looking at her and going, man, she is muscular,
yes.
She is stacked. She looked way bigger than Lara Joanie at the weigh-ins and even looked bigger than her today.
Thus, the ground control that she has been able to maintain, staying heavy on the Brazilian.
And that's what we talk about. When you have all those years of judo and the understanding of Newazi, the ground game, and how to create a pressure, how to maintain that position, she's got all that in spades.
One of her training partners, her brother Shuto. 1:45 on the clock, hammer fist from Watanabe. Joanie needs to find a way to get off her back.
This is what we were talking about. If she ends up on her back with Watanabe being in the top position, it is not going to be a good fight. You can see she's using a knee shield inside, trying to get herself where she can get out of the position. It's just not working because Watanabe understands that ground game and how to keep herself where she's at.
What a way to finish the best year in Bellator history. First time ever inside the Saitama Super Arena. Just outside of Tokyo, Japan. More ground and pound.
Not a lot of those working as far as landing with any power, but you look at Watanabe, she's working towards the back. Joanie gives the back, she's in deep trouble now.
Time to finish here for Kana Watanabe. Bad spot for the Brazilian.
And again, those punches are just not that powerful, but it can add up. She just does that, she's hiding. Kevin McDonald will stop it if all she does is hide.
And she can't defend herself, and then it's all over. Kana Watanabe remains unbeaten in her professional career. She predicted the finish, and she finishes Lara Joanie in the final round.
Very impressive performance overall by Watanabe. When she was getting beaten to stand up, she told herself, I've got to change this, close the distance, grab the arm, got the takedowns, and every round went and did that same thing. Very smart.
Kana, if you wanted to prove that you can face world-class opponents, you just did so. Congratulations to Tokyo's Kana Watanabe. The official decision is coming up next. The fourth degree judo black belt utilized those skills to take the fight to the ground, then finished it in the third to make it official, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end as referee Kevin McDonald waves it off due to unanswered strikes. Official time, 4 minutes, 39 seconds. Round number 3, the winner by TKO, Kana Watanabe.
She promised to finish, and she did it with 21 seconds remaining in the fight. Moving to 9-0-1 as a professional. Kana Watanabe with Big John.
I'm here with your winner, Kana Watanabe. That was a beautiful performance. You utilized your judo skills to put the fight on the ground and get that win.
まずは渡辺香奈選手、ご自身のですね、柔道のバックグラウンド、しっかりと生かした試合展開だったと思います。おめでとうございます。今のお気持ちはいかがですか？
ありがとうございます。すごくジョアン・イララ選手すごく強かったので勝ててほっとしてます。また、ライジン代表としてここに立っているのでファンの皆さんの思いや他の選手の思いも背負ってたので本当に勝ててよかったです。ありがとうございます。
I am so very happy that I was able to bring this victory to all the fans, all the people who are kind of representing Rising. I feel like all the other fighters are with me. I know that during the fight, during the 3 rounds, Joanie was very strong. So I was able to bring out the best of me, and I'm just so relieved now.
I want to tell you, it was a beautiful performance. Congratulations on a beautiful win. Man, you can take a look at everything, and they're so close everywhere. The only thing I can point out is this is one of the very few times that Kyoji Horiguchi is taller than his opponent at 5'5" to 5'3".
Pint-sized powerhouses.
花束の贈呈です。プレゼンターは株式会社グッドライフ代表取締役水山雅人様です。
ただいまより本日の第13試合 Unanimous スペシャルマッチライジン VS ベラトール全面対抗戦中堅フライ級マッチを行います。青コーナー165センチ 56.65 キロ35戦30勝5敗群馬県高崎市出身第7代ベラトールバンタム級チャンピオン第4代ライジンバンタム級チャンピオン史上最強のメイドインジャパン堀口恭司
In the blue corner, standing at 165 centimeters, weighing 56.65 kilograms, representing Japan, Kyoji Horiguchi.
赤コーナー162センチ 56.90 キロ33戦25勝6敗2分け岩手県久慈市出身第6代シュート世界フライ級第8代シュート世界バンタム級王者ライジンジャパングランプリ2021バンタム級トーナメント優勝打倒極根性大木久保弘正
In the red corner, standing at 162 centimeters, weighing 56.9 kilograms, representing Japan, Hiromasa Ogi Kubo.
レフェリージェイソン・ハーズ
この試合はライジン MMA ルール各ラウンド5分の3ラウンド制で行われます。なお、この試合の勝者にはユーネイムスト様 株式会社グッドライフ様、ユイマール様の各社より勝利者賞が贈られます。
The bell and round one. Both Horiguchi and Ugi Kubo have tasted great success on New Year's Eve here in the Saitama Super Arena. Remember, Horiguchi beat then Bellator champion Darion Caldwell to become the inaugural Rizin Bantamweight champion, but now a former two-time Rizin champ at 135 and a former Bellator champ as he avoids that right hand by Ugi Kubo, and it's Horiguchi able to move Ugi Kubo to the ropes.
And this is where, when you're looking at this fight, Ugi Kubo is an outstanding wrestler, but Kyoji can actually stay with him in the wrestling department. It's the stand-up that he wants to excel at.
And of course, with Horiguchi now back at 125, hey, he walks around at 143, so making bantamweight, he said, wasn't too difficult, but he feels that flyweight is his future. He would love it if Bellator introduced a flyweight division in the new year, so he and Ugi Kubo renewing hostilities at 125 with there's Horiguchi landing the calf kick, but immediately Ugi Kubo takes his back.
Nice job by Ugi Kubo. When you're talking about 125 to 135, Horiguchi is made to be a flyweight. That is his size, and he's great there. He does fight up at bantamweight because Bellator doesn't have a flyweight division. I wish they did. That's a good job by Ugi Kubo trying to land a strike there, because this is where he gets into trouble. He just starts wrestling with Horiguchi, trying to get in the ground. It eventually doesn't happen. Horiguchi breaks away and then lands strikes and ends up winning the fight. Ugi Kubo has got to find ways to hurt and damage Horiguchi, slow him down.
Horiguchi has 10 victories via first-round knockout. Ugi Kubo has 4 first-round finishes, including 3 submissions. And again, at flyweight, where you would expect fighters maybe not to be known for that one-punch knockout power, we have seen evidence that especially Horiguchi does possess that.
Boy, Horiguchi is just eating up that left leg, and you can even see it down on the calf. Take a look, it's already swollen up, and he's eating up the inside of the right leg now.
Taking away Ugi Kubo's base. Ugi Kubo trying to separate himself from the corner, but Horiguchi putting all of that pressure on him and delivering a series of knees into the inner thigh area of the right leg of Hiromasa Ugi Kubo past the midway point of the first round.
And doing a lot of damage with those knee strikes. That does not feel good. That's a Charlie horse every time.
Horiguchi sharpening his wrestling skills at American Top Team in South Florida, where he has owned a home since 2019. An avid fisherman, would definitely love to land another big win here. And yeah, he knows, you know, he said it was a little awkward knowing how much he's meant to the Rizin promotion, representing Bellator here tonight. But at the end of the day, John, when the bell goes, you are representing yourself only. Absolutely. And it's Horiguchi and Ugi Kubo, and there's a triple jab by Horiguchi that allows him to close distance.
Very nice jab set up by Horiguchi there. And Horiguchi's movement is so erratic, so hard for you to predict, and he's so quick. He moves just well. It's like you're setting things up, trying to find that moment, and he's gone.
Calf kick delivered again by Horiguchi. Inside kick caught by Horiguchi and has the single. And good job of Ugi Kubo for staying on his feet, but now finds himself pinned to the corner again. And Mike Brown, and that's the corner Horiguchi wants to be in his own.
Right now, Horiguchi is nothing but a video game being played by Mike Brown. Everything that Mike Brown tells him, he's doing.
Ugi Kubo's the one looking for the cheat code. 45 seconds left in the first frame.
Ooh, that left hook. That's right on target. Ugi Kubo needs to keep that right hand up, that left hook.
You can see, they're chopping down Ugi Kubo with that low kick and then the body kick and the 1, 2, 3 by Horiguchi. Ugi Kubo is on his back. And this ground and pound from Horiguchi.
This is what makes Horiguchi so dangerous at this weight.
Hammer fist. Horiguchi posturing and just delivering the thunder to the head of Ugi Kubo. He has submitted him. They've gone the distance previously. He's looking for the finish here. But time now running out in round one. But the dominant way to end the first frame for Horiguchi. Round two, and a look at the lower leg of Ugi Kubo, who has tasted the power, the crushing kicks of Horiguchi, and Horiguchi again continues to chop away, take away the base of Ugi Kubo, make him a stationary target.
Nice
I'm
job.
going for a question mark kick there, but he gets caught.
Yeah.
And there's no question, Horiguchi and Fuego early here, again attacking the back of Ugi Kubo. It's one-way traffic, John.
Yeah, right now, Horiguchi is on a roll, and he keeps on doing damaging work to Ugi Kubo. The stand-up, it's starting to really separate itself. That low calf kick, he is just annihilating the lower leg of Ugi Kubo. And you see that Ugi Kubo is coming out now southpaw because he cannot take much more damage to that left leg, that lead leg. Ugi Kubo here trying to work the hands, separate the hands.
Ugi Kubo started karate at the age of 5 because his father was a karate sensei. Started MMA after graduating high school because of the influence of pride, and there's the takedown by Horiguchi, and maybe wanting to set up a potential attack at a rear naked choke, but Ugi Kubo trying to defend as best as he can from this position.
Being nice and relaxed. Right now, not in danger, but he's not in a good position. He's got to work himself out of this.
And you know what, John, in the spirit of New Year's Eve, I think we should turn the number of Pride Fighting Championships references on tonight's historic telecast into a drinking game. Just want people to do it responsibly and make sure it's the good stuff.
That's it. That's it. You just got to do quality stuff now.
Well, we're seeing quality stuff out of Kyoji Horiguchi here. Heel strikes as well, now trying to find a way to slip an arm underneath the chin of Ugi Kubo. And again, he does have that rear naked choke submission win over Ugi Kubo.
He does, and you know, right now he's just taking his time with this. You saw how he had the hook on the leg. He was trying to elevate it so he could slip his hook over the top. Wasn't able to do it, but he's sitting there in a nice ride here. The problem for Hiramaso is he doesn't have the ability to effectively attack Horiguchi in any fashion at this point. He's going to have to turn his position, try to get to the top.
Just past the midway point of the round and the fight, and that rear naked choke submission on Ugi Kubo as they scramble with Horiguchi now full mount. That was the first submission of Horiguchi's career back in 2013, but here's a scramble, and now Horiguchi looking to get his hooks in.
Ugi Kubo doing a lot of movement. He realized, I don't want to be in this position with him on top of me in this mount. Gave his back, thought he could actually take and roll his way through it, wasn't able to. Now he's turned the position in guard.
Reversal by Ugi Kubo, but now he'll have to try to make this work for him because a minute 45 left in the second.
That was really nice work by Ugi Kubo because he didn't give up on it. He never stopped. He kept on working, didn't panic, and then when given the opportunity, turned it on, got that position back.
But how does he make the most of it now with Horiguchi in the guard?
He makes the most of this right now by getting posture and landing heavy, damaging blows.
What do you think of Horiguchi's guard work over the years, John?
He's outstanding, and he does a beautiful job of doing exactly what you're seeing here. See how he takes the head, and he'll always force the head off to either side, under his arm, so that keeps you from being able to land any big shots on him. He's outstanding at controlling the head of his opponent if he's in guard.
Minute remaining in the second round.
1 more minute left in the round.
Nice attempt at passing by Ugi Kubo, but was unable to get there. It's these little motions right now. You saw Horiguchi with his feet on the hip, now open guard. That means that he's attacking. That's a good thing. Again, look at where he forces the head to be off to the side. There's no way for Ugi Kubo to land a big shot on his head. He can do little tiny body strikes, but that's not going to do anything in the fight. Again, He needs to find that thing that can damage Horiguchi. He hasn't been able to find it.
Now Kubo trying to work the left hand, but Horiguchi controlling his posture. Final 15 seconds left in the second round. Short strikes from the bottom by Horiguchi. So Kubo able to reverse but not do much from top position. And this the third and final round of the third meeting between Kyoji Horiguchi and Hiromasa Kubo. Kubo gets dropped with a left hook right at the beginning of the round.
Man, I'm impressed that you saw that was a left hook, because that was, what a beautiful shot by Horiguchi, and Kubo is in trouble right now.
Yeah, this camera zoomed up, but he caught him with a left hook, looking to close the book early on their third and final meeting.
He landed that so clean. Beautiful job passing
right into side control.
Horiguchi in control.
And into full mount, Horiguchi making it look
looking for that
so
arm
slick
triangle.
And easy. Ground and pound as Kubo looks like he's going to give up his back here. Trying to sit up. And now Horiguchi looking for that rear naked choke.
See, and these are the times when I'm looking, Horiguchi hurt him badly with that left hook. And so instead of just looking for the submission, damage him with strikes and then go for that.
And the reversal again
Great
here
job
for
by Kubo.
Kubo, but as we saw in the second round, Horiguchi not willing to accept it, looking for the up kick. And there's a stop attempt by Kubo, vintage Vanderlei Silva there.
Nice.
Wow,
Iranian
what a scramble.
lift.
I've been very impressed with all the scrambling we've seen tonight on this card, John.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Iranian lift, but he did not shuck him off. You want to take him to one side or the other. He wasn't able to do that.
And now it's Kubo looking for the guillotine.
He jumped to that, and it was not set. He probably should not have gone that deep with it.
And he gives up position.
It was a good attempt. I got to give him, he's trying. It just wasn't set, and now you have Horiguchi in the top position, which is not good.
But Kubo, referee repositioning them. And you talk about Kubo at least attempting. I mean, here in the final round, just over 3 minutes left, Japanese-based fighters always continuing to show that Bushido, always. And we've said it before. In Japan, I've been at fighter meetings for Pride Fighting Championship. Saki Kabara-san would say, hey, you win a boring decision, we might not bring you back. If you lose and you show heart and you are willing to go out on your shield, you're going to be brought back.
That's exactly it. That's their, the way they look at the fight is not so much did you win or lose. Did you fight with honor? Did you give it everything you had? Did you have that warrior spirit? And that's what they're looking for, and that's what you're seeing out of these two gentlemen.
We've seen the Bushido spirit alive and well throughout this historic night here at Saitama Super Arena as we cross the midway point of the third and final round, the trilogy tilt between Kyoji Horiguchi and Hiromasa Kubo. And Kubo not in a position he wants to be with time ticking away.
Kubo doing a nice job of trying to open up that guard. He's trying to change position. He's attacking. He just can't stop Horiguchi, off balance him to the point where he can turn him.
And of course, Horiguchi returning to 125, an extra weight cut. But how does he look to you with just under 2 minutes remaining?
Look, I think he looks better at 125 than any other weight class. He's fast. He's so strong, and the power that he possesses is a difference maker in fights. See, right here, there's not a whole lot that Kubo can do at this. You see that underhook that he's trying to get to try to push Horiguchi off. It's just unable to do it. Horiguchi's base is so good. Just riding right now, taking his time. And as this time goes by, Moro, things aren't looking good for Kubo.
He has gone the distance on 22 different occasions, is 18-2-2 in those bouts. But with a minute left, he's going to need a finish, and a dramatic one if he is to not only put Ryzen on the board, but if he's to avoid the sweep at the hands of Kyoji Horiguchi and Kubo. Switching to southpaw.
Going after it.
Yes, he is, but sprawled by Horiguchi.
Oh, nice knee to the head.
Knees.
Beautiful knee to the head by Horiguchi. And see, that's when you got a guy who's been fighting in Rizin, and it just is a natural part of what he does. That was well-timed, well-placed by Horiguchi.
And blood now on the body of Hiromasa Ugi Kubo.
Well, that's from that knee strike to the head.
Oh, look at it, to the back of the head there.
He has got a giant gash.
And now the waist lock. Is there one last throw or suplex attempt by Horiguchi? Time running out, but Horiguchi has once again taken care of Hiromasa Ugi Kubo. Hiromasa, more like it after that nasty knee, and both of them showing respect in another tough, grueling affair, but one obviously dominated by Kyoji Horiguchi.
Judge Matsumiya, Ao Horiguchi. Judge Toyonaga, Ao Horiguchi. Judge Marina, Ao Horiguchi. Yottei shosha, Horiguchi Kyoji.
And just like that, Kyoji Horiguchi is 3-0 against Hiromasa Ugi Kubo. Team Bellator 3-0 against Team Rizin.
She's got one win by knockout, two by way of submission. Representing Caveman Crew and Crawford's American Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Raytown, Missouri, introducing Sarah White Tiger Schneider. And across the cage, her adversary fights out of the blue corner. She wears the white at 5'3". She weighed in at 118.5 pounds. The catch wrestler and grappler brings an undefeated and impressive professional record of 19-0 with 16 victories by way of submission. Representing AACC from Okayama, Japan, presenting Megumi Fuji. And your referee for this contest, Jorge Alonso.
There you see Josh Barnett, the trainer of Megumi Fuji, one of the top heavyweights in all of MMA.
Okay, obey my commands, protect yourself at all times.
And also a very tough trainer, Sean.
Sarah Schneider is trained by her older brother Steve, himself an MMA fighter. Schneider in the black trunks, Fuji in the white trunks. Jorge Alonso is the referee. The bell in round number one.
Fuji staying very light on her feet. Schneider has to know that if she's going to win, this is where it's going to happen, on the feet.
Schneider is herself a grappler and a submission specialist, so she's not looking for a knockout. The strengths of Sarah Schneider are the same strengths of Fuji. Fuji just much more accomplished in MMA.
Well, the same strengths, but not as strong. That's the point of being well-rounded in MMA. You'll fight somebody who's better at what you're good at. Schneider right now looks very tentative. Backing off, not being aggressive. She's letting Fuji push the pace here. And you know that's what Fuji's looking for.
When we spoke to Sarah Schneider in our fighter meetings, I asked her, how confident are you? And she said, well, I'm confident that I'm a good fighter, but in this bout, anything can happen.
But that's what we expected to happen, the takedown from Fuji. She wants this fight on the ground.
Tight guard held by Sarah Schneider.
Schneider holding on very tight.
I first saw Sarah Schneider the fight in Kansas City, Kansas. I called for Midwestern Television, September of 2007. She defeated former U.S. Judo Olympian Karina West by armbar submission in the first round. She was not intimidated to fight a former Olympian in that bout. She doesn't seem intimidated by Fuji, but Fuji obviously a completely different level from Karina West 3 years ago.
You see that body triangle. She's locking up with her legs. You see the body triangle right here that she's locking up with her legs. It's different than the regular closed guard. It's good at holding somebody tight to you, but it's not good for a submission. You aren't looking for a submission when you body triangle from the guard.
If Schneider has a strength in this bout, Jimmy, I think it is actual strength.
Very true. Like I said, in the inner circle, you know, Japanese fighters that come to the U.S., that's a problem a lot of them have. American fighters seem to be bigger, stronger, with that grappling background. They're better at cutting weight. It's hard to use some of that technique against someone who's a lot stronger than you, but Fujii's in the right place to do it, on top.
Fujii's so excited about making her Bellator debut, and a big slam on Schneider by Fujii. So excited about participating in Bellator's women's 115-pound tournament, which begins in August.
Schneider not very active at all in the guard, looking for a stand-up again.
There is the stand-up by referee Jorge Alonso.
Not a bad strategy against a better grappler. Hold on, wait for the referee to stand you up again.
Fujii just walking down her opponent.
Now, I like Fujii's movement. She's angling very well, very light on her feet.
Good combination there on the inside by Fujii.
Oh, Sarah went for that spinning back fist, and it cost her. Fujii stepping right underneath it for the takedown. Good job passing by Fujii. Excellent job.
So smooth on the pass by Fujii into side control.
Now into the mount.
Stepping over in the full mount on Sarah Schneider is Megumi Fujii. Schneider holding the body lock, trying to keep her opponent tight.
Now some beautiful groundwork from Fujii, now stepping up. Looks like she might be stepping over for a triangle. Can't really tell from here, but no, it looks like just a high mount.
Fujii more likely to look for a spinning armbar from mounting ground and pound.
I think so, but she understands the value of ground and pound for setting up submissions.
Schneider trying to regain her feet, can't do it. Hammer fist and a straight jackhammer right by Fujii.
Good job by Schneider getting back to guard. And once again, she's underneath the armpits of Fujii and just trying to stay close.
See the tight guard there held by Schneider. See the wide base by Fujii. She is so technically proficient on the ground.
That guard very low around Fujii's hips. It's not a high guard. It's not what I would call a submission guard. You're not walking your legs up. You're not really trying to end the fight. Looks like right now Schneider's content to just hang on.
Body triangle again, locked up by Sarah Schneider. Schneider's cut. It's on the bridge of the nose, and the blood trickling from the bridge of the nose into the right eye. Again, not danger to permanent vision loss. The danger is temporary vision loss.
That blood runs into the eye. It makes it a lot harder to fight.
Gotta work, gotta work.
Closing seconds of round number one. Sarah Schneider versus Megumi Fujii. And we are headed to round number two. Round number two. Sarah Schneider is in the black trunks. Megumi Fujii in the white trunks.
You know, Schneider being a little more aggressive. Oh, now trying to jump to take the back of Fujii. Good job.
This would be a monumental upset, but we're not quite there yet. Credit though Sarah Schneider, looking for offense rather than just playing defense. Against Megumi Fujii, who's widely regarded as the top 115-pound female fighter in all of MMA.
I was about to say, she seemed very passive in that first round, kind of letting Fujii dictate the pace both on the feet and on the ground, and coming out a little more aggressive this time, trying to work the rubber guard. You see her grabbing her shin, pulling it behind the head of Megumi Fujii, trying to control her posture with that shin, but Megumi standing up a little too tall for that.
Again, this bout being fought at the catch weight of 120 pounds. Jimmy, how much of an advantage do you think that gives to Sarah Schneider?
It gives a little bit of an advantage because she's naturally the bigger fighter. She's fought up as high as 135 pounds, so she's the physically bigger fighter. And you know, when you're at a catch weight, it always favors the bigger guy, but or girl in this case. But you know, Fujii, she's technical. I think she can handle much bigger female fighters.
We told you earlier about the black belt of Sarah Schneider in American Jiu-Jitsu. Fujii has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and in Judo. And a knee there. Schneider trying to scramble to her feet, couldn't quite get there. Look how tenacious Fujii is on the ground.
You can tell great balance, forces that right knee through every single time. What she's doing, she's trying to use that right knee to keep Sarah Schneider from getting her guard back, but credit to Sarah Schneider, able to get back to guard. Just not able to do a lot with it.
Gotta work, gotta work.
Blood flowing freely again from the cut on the bridge of the nose of Sarah Schneider. And a stand-up ordered by referee Jorge Alonso.
Fuji, I'm impressed with how aggressive Fuji is on the feet. I don't think she's taken a backward step this entire fight.
Big right-hander by Fuji and the takedown. Schneider was in a guillotine position, didn't take it though, Jimmy.
Fuji is just doing a good job of keeping pressure on that knee, always trying to pass, but Schneider, very tricky getting that guard back.
Schneider, you see, holding her opponent chest to chest.
Well, the thing is that she knows she's up against a superior jiu-jitsu fighter, someone whose submissions are a lot better. She doesn't want to open up and take any risks, but you're down 1 round to none. You have to try something. You have to either scramble back to your feet or go for a submission from her back. If she's not confident in going for a submission, she thinks Fuji is going to pass, well then push off the hips, get some space and get up.
Sarah Schneider again trying to work rubber guard. You see the closed guard very high up the back of Megumi Fuji.
Right now her strategy looks to be just stall and get back to the feet, but once they're on the feet, she's not being aggressive. She's letting Fuji dictate the pace.
And again, the stand-up from referee Jorge Alonso because of a lack of action on the ground. Alonso doing a good job of keeping this fight moving, Jimmy.
But that strategy that Schneider's employing, which is stall on the ground and get back to the feet, only works if you're going to take advantage once you're on the feet. But you see here, she's backing up. She's giving Fuji a lot of opportunities on the feet.
Second time Sarah Schneider has thrown the spinning back fist. Second time she has been taken down.
The point of the spinning back fist is it works when you've thrown other strikes and your opponent's not ready for it. If you're throwing a lot of 1-2s, a lot of kicks, they don't see that spinning back fist coming. If you throw it by itself, it's hard to land.
Final minute of round number 2.
Unless you're fighting Matt Major and you're flamenco, I guess it works every single time then. Other than that, you got to mix up other strikes.
Nicely said, Jimmy.
Hey, you know, I got to give flamenco some love. He landed about 50 of those.
You see Schneider, again holding the tight, closed guard on her opponent, Megumi Fuji. Schneider again, playing with the body triangle, playing with the rubber guard.
Going rubber guard, trying to, you know, rubber guard's good at keeping your opponent close. It's very good at keeping your opponent tight so they can't pull a lot of submissions, but unless you're using it effectively to go for something, like we're seeing here, she's not really threatening with any submissions. She seems content to hold on. Don't think that's the right strategy.
We are going to a third and final round in this Bellator special feature fight, the women's catch weight of 120 pounds. Third and final round upcoming in this Bellator special feature fight, women's catch weight of 120 pounds. Sarah Schneider, the Kansas City area fighter from Raytown, Missouri, is in the black trunks. Megumi Fuji from Japan, she's in the white trunks. Widely regarded as the top female fighter in all of MMA at 115 pounds and one of the top 2 or 3 pound-for-pound female fighters in the sport. Jimmy, how do you have this through 2 rounds on your unofficial card?
2 rounds to none for Fuji. Great ground control and aggressive on the feet. You saw there early in that exchange, she hit Fuji. Fuji backed up to the cage, and Schneider backed up and let her go. That's kind of the story of the fight, not only willing to press the advantage, seems content to hang back and let Fuji get back into the fight, dominate position. You can't win a fight that way. You can't fight scared. Scared money doesn't win. It's a gambling term, but I think it works well for MMA.
Jimmy, I don't really believe in moral victories. I certainly don't in MMA, but saying that, does Schneider feel pretty good about herself? If she can go 15 minutes with Fuji, does she start to think about that at any point in this round?
Why did you go 15 minutes? Anyone can run for 15 minutes. Anyone cannot engage for 15 minutes and win. You know, if you gave it everything you had and you lost, you have nothing to be ashamed about. And, you know, what I tell my fighters when I train them is you have to love fighting more than you love winning. You have to go in there and give it everything you have, and then you can feel good about everything. Going the distance isn't good if you got there because you weren't aggressive. You got there because you didn't give everything you had.
Full mounts by Megumi Fuji.
I'm not saying that's what Schneider's doing, but when you say moral victories, if you didn't try your hardest, there's no moral victory.
Fuji with the ground and pounds. Referee Jorge Alonso taking a close look. Now Schneider has given her back and takes it away, but then she eats more punches. Unfettered shots by Fuji.
Fuji looking for her first win by TKO, Sean. She said she wanted one.
That is it.
That's it.
There's the stoppage. 20-0 for Megumi Fuji and her first win by technical knockout.
You know, we didn't take her that seriously when she said, I want my first knockout, but she got it. Stayed busy with the ground and pound. Schneider not intelligently defending herself, and referee stepped in. I think that was a good stoppage, Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, referee Jorge Alonso waves off this fight due to unanswered strikes. Officially, at 1 minute 58 seconds into round number 3, the winner by TKO victory, Megumi Megu Fuji.
I'm here with your winner, Megumi Fuji. Great job. You're winning a few fights in America. How does it feel to fight here in Bellator in front of the American crowd?
I'm very happy, exciting.
Also, cheers will really work for you. Also, the women's tournament coming up, 115 pounds. You have to be considered the favorite. How do you feel about the Bellator women's tournament?
I will show my skill, and I hope to be the champion.
Look at the record. Joe Schilling, 2-4 in MMA. It's his kickboxing that's exemplary. Has he developed into an MMA fighter? That's the question tonight.
Live on Spike, Bellator MMA presented by Miller Lite. Now moves to the middleweight division. 3 5-minute rounds brought to you by Gold Bond Ultimate Men's Lotion with skin strengthening proteins and 7 intensive moisturizers. Man up with Gold Bond. And now introducing first the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 185.5 pounds, his professional record. 4 wins, just 1 defeat from Nagoya, Japan. Introducing Hisaki Kato. And across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, at 6'3", weighing in 185.9 pounds, the world-renowned kickboxer as a mixed martial artist stands at 2-4. He fights out of Los Angeles, California. Introducing Joe Stitch'em-Up Schilling. In charge of the action, your referee, Rob Hines.
Hisaki Kato, born in France to a Japanese father and a French mother, now lives in Japan. First fight in the U.S., Jimmy, he said, I am here to be famous.
Be careful what you wish for. A lot of ways to get famous.
You ready? You ready? Go, fight.
The bell in round number 1. Joe Schilling trying to emulate his superstardom in MMA that he has achieved in kickboxing. Tonight's Fight Clock is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And the kickboxing fame, Jimmy, for Schilling, who's wearing the red gloves, blue gloves for Kato, has come not just from victories, but from devastating knockouts.
And gritty performances. I mean, one-night tournaments, fighting 3 guys in a row. It's his heart as much as his power that's made him so well known.
Nice kick. Go stronger than him. You've got more power. Nice. Nice job. Yes.
Feint on the push kick from Schilling. Kick under the armpit. That landed with a thud.
Opposite stances is easy to throw the power kick as well as the power punch.
Schilling standing very tall. Switches stances. Kato trying to work to the inside. Lands the left hand. Now the level change and hits the takedown.
Not a surprise there. He did not like that kick. Went in and got the takedown.
Rob Hines just warned Joe Schilling, watch the elbow to the back of Kato's head.
Not the back of his head.
Again, the warning from Hines.
Here's the test. Joe Schilling's MMA skills. How well does he do on the ground?
Schilling trying to sit up through half butterfly. Kato head in, Jimmy giving Schilling no space.
He hates it on the ground.
He's been training in his ground game. Training with the Diaz brothers, training the top team, Ricardo Laborio. Good job getting his guard back.
Don't grab with your toes, Joe.
Walking his guard up. Looks like he's trying to isolate the right arm of Kato.
Georgie Korahanian weighing in on Twitter using the hashtag Bellator139. Schilling trying the cage walk. Someone in the crowd, Jimmy, who's obviously supporting Kato, just yelled he hates it on the ground. Joe Schilling trying desperately to change that perception.
Gentlemen, let's improve.
Doing a good job right now defensively. Kato finally sitting up to get some ground and pound, but Joe Schilling offensive with his guard. Now he's got a little bit of space. What can he do with it?
Let go of the cage. Let go of the cage.
Hines telling Kato, let go of the cage with your left hand. Kato right back into the open guard of Schilling.
Watch the back of his head, Isaki.
Now Kato warned for a strike to the back of the head.
Now here's the question. Schilling's done a good job defensively. But can he get space? Can he hunt for a submission of his own?
See the heel strikes from Schilling. Still to come, John Alessio versus David Rickles, fighting here in his home state of Kansas. That is in the lightweight division. And our main event is in the heavyweight division. Alexander Volkov versus Czech Congo. 140 remaining in this middleweight fight. Hisaki Kato in his Bellator debut versus Joe Schilling.
Going for a triangle.
Kato pops his head free. Trying to work back to side control. See the position of Schilling's knee. Now getting half guard. Jimmy Kato very tight with his top game and not taking a lot of chances, being positionally smart.
Taking almost no chances. Not doing a lot with his position offensively, but staying on top, landing short punches. Trying to stay busy enough to keep this fight here. That's the strategy that frustrated Joe Schilling against Rafael Carvalho.
Kato's strategy, standing and on the ground, all the way in or all the way out. He's clearly all the way in and folding all the way in. See Schilling trying to shrimp. We're trying to open up his offense ever so slightly.
Gentlemen, we need to improve. Let's go.
Call for action again from Rob Hines.
Good transition to full mount.
Schilling gives his back. Looking for a backdoor escape. Back to his feet, eating big shots from Kato. Great work from our Bellator Spike production team. By far the best in all of combat sports television. Jimmy, your scorecard.
I went 10-9 Hisaki Kato. Ground and pound, takedown, didn't let Joe Schilling get his offense going on the feet.
Here's the hard teep kick from Schilling. Didn't land the second. Kato almost dismissively called Schilling a big glove fighter. He said, I'm a small glove fighter.
Oh! And that is it! With the small gloves! And the step-in left-hand knockout! I think he's famous now! A huge win for Hisaki Kato!
That is a famous knockout for sure against the world-class kickboxer. This crowd appreciates it. A beautiful shot by Kato.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the end comes suddenly. 34 seconds into round number 2. The winner by knockout, Hisaki Kato.
Let's go to Jimmy.
I'm here with your winner, Hisaki Kato. You said, I'm gonna be famous after this fight. That knockout might have done it. How does it feel?
Yeah, I believed in myself. I know I have a really heavy hands. I just need one good shot to knock somebody out, and I knew I'm gonna go doing it today.
You said, I'm gonna represent Japanese MMA tonight. Do you feel you did that?
Yeah, Japanese MMA is not only about grappling. It's only solid strikers. Thank you.
Congratulations. Give it up for Hisaki Kato, ladies and gentlemen.
9-3 for Lara. 9-0 with just one no contest, a fight that was stopped off of a foul. Watanabe has got no losses, and Lara wants to be the first one to put that mark on that record.
Number 4 ranked Lara against the number 5 ranked Watanabe with the official introductions. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Introducing the blue corner at 5'6", weighing in 124.8 pounds. Her professional record, undefeated with 9 wins, no losses, 1 draw, fighting out of Tokyo, Japan, presenting Kana Watanabe. And across the cage, her adversary fights out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 124.2 pounds. The former Bellator World Title challenger enters with 9 professional victories, 3 defeats. From Medellin, Colombia, introducing Alejandra Azul Lara. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Kevin McDonald.
Back to your corner. Back. Ready to fight? You ready to fight? Let's go.
Referee Kevin McDonald calls for the bell. Alejandra Lara in the red gloves, Kana Watanabe in the blue gloves, and no feeling out process in this flyweight battle with so much at stake, and Lara already all over Watanabe.
Nice by Lara, backing off. She was lighting her up with that left hand.
Southpaw with the 1-2, but the takedown by the judoka, and this is where Watanabe, well, is the master of her domain.
This is the place that Alejandra Lara did not want to end up, underneath Watanabe, and the strength of Watanabe. That's what you're going to be seeing right here. She's so good with her judo techniques, but she is a physically strong lady.
On the first MMA broadcast on Showtime in February 2007, the ladies stole the show. Gina Carano versus Julie Kempsey. Only fitting that the females get to raise the curtain on the next chapter of MMA on Showtime here with Bellator, and Watanabe all over Lara here in the opening minute of the first round.
Lara did a great job of getting the kick and getting Watanabe's weight back, but then she made the mistake when she turned her back to her.
Former flyweight champion Alima Leigh McFarland, and I gotta tell you, no fighting atmosphere like an Alima Leigh McFarland fight in Hawaii. She is definitely watching with vested interest.
Watanabe working to break Lara down. Lara trying to base out, get herself to a position where she can stand up. Lara's going to have to figure out, am I going to be able to get to my feet from this position? Good job of getting right back up. And this is when she now says, I am a striker that believes in my skills. And I'll tell you, at the beginning of this fight, she was lighting Watanabe up with that left hand.
The southpaw Lara training in Mexico with UFC veteran Alexa Grasso. 2 minutes now gone in the opening round, and Lara now trying to pick up the momentum, find a rhythm in the stand-up as Watanabe tries to take her down to the canvas one more time. Body lock trip, and this time beautiful distribution by Lara into full mount, now has her back.
What a beautiful transition by Lara to step over to get that mount off of the takedown. You saw double underhooks by Watanabe, but that was a beautiful reversal of positions by Alejandra Lara.
Lara has 2 rear naked choke victories. Watanabe has never been defeated. Lara trying diligently to try to flatten out Watanabe. Watanabe doing a great job in not letting that happen.
She is doing a great job, because right now, if you look at the hand position of Alejandra Lara, she's in a position where she's able to suck her hips back towards the hip area of Watanabe, and that's what's keeping her in place.
A lot of energy being expended here as Lara looking to maximize this position on Watanabe.
What happens is when you have your hands in that position that Lara had, then they get stuck underneath at times, and it takes you a while to work them out.
Yeah, Watanabe looking for a backdoor escape, but it's Lara with the hooks in.
She's getting a little bit high. She's going back to that almost a seatbelt position, grabbing under the arms. Now she's too high. She step off. Very smart.
Coming up on the final 90 seconds of the opening round. Pivotal matchup at 125 pounds. Watanabe closes in, scores with a right hook behind the guard of Lara, but Lara really seems to be gaining more and more confidence with each and every outing in her stand-up.
Absolutely, she is. You can see that. But one thing she needs to do, she's getting a little high when she's coming in. She's bouncing in and getting high. She needs to set down on those punches to make them have more effect.
Watanabe fighting for the first time on American soil as they come together with less than a minute remaining now in the opening 5 minutes here at the Fight Sphere. Left hand lands for Lara.
With a nice right hand counter right behind it.
So a frenetic start, beginning to settle down a bit as again Watanabe looking for the trip takedown. Lara doing a good job, delivers a knee up the middle. Lara trying to punch herself free.
Very smart by Lara, because you are in a position with the judoka who, when they're getting their hands on you, that's what they want, and Lara is making her pay for it.
Nice inside leg kick by Lara. Final 20 seconds of the opening round here at Bellator 255. Good stuff from both Alejandra Lara and Kana Watanabe here to kick off Bellator 255. Bell and round number 2 of this women's flyweight matchup. Alejandra Lara on her back foot as Watanabe comes forward. Lara trying to navigate the distance to land that 1-2 from the southpaw stance. Oh, she gets tagged with a right hand from Watanabe.
Absolutely, Watanabe landing a beautiful right hand there.
And when we talk about the improvement of Lara's striking, credit has to go to the Grasso family in Mexico for the work they've done with her, John.
Absolutely. Alexis Grasso and her father have done a really good job of getting her to calm down on her strikes.
Oh, speaking of strikes, she just dropped Watanabe, seemed to be momentarily bothered, and the strike stats tell the story as Alejandra Lara lighting up Kana Watanabe and just landed a nasty knee.
And those 2 elbows inside, those were strong and hard.
Well, Lara's nickname is Azul, which is, of course, blue, and she says that her blue fire will consume everything she touches in the cage, and she has been en fuego in her striking. And of course, picking up valuable learning experiences, back-to-back losses to the former champion McFarland and the current champ Velasquez. And there's judoka using her bread and butter to bring Lara back to the ground where Watanabe is now inside control.
Watanabe being on top, this is exactly where she feels comfortable and knows that if she is in this position, she can put heavy pressure down, keep her opponent in this position, and do some damage.
Watanabe started her judo journey at the age of 6, started to train to learn self-defense with her dad and brother, come from a family of martial artists, and now working from the back. Lara, nicely done, looking for the reversal.
Looking for a leg right here. She has the leg entwined.
And of course, you put yourself up at risk, but you almost have to sometimes admire the risk-taking or the going for greatness as it is.
Absolutely, and she's at less risk in this position than she was when Watanabe is going to be on her back.
Although Watanabe looking for that potential arm triangle, but now has it side.
Yeah, right now she's not in a position for the choke to work, but you can see that the pressure she's bringing down is still giving Alejandra some problems. She's got that arm trapped with the head, so she's not in a good position right now.
Well-rounded Watanabe with 3 knockouts and 3 submissions in her 9 career victories.
Nice elbow from underneath by Lara. That thing landed solid.
Joachim Hansen, the old Pride fighter, was a nasty striker from his back as well. One of the few, right, that can generate some power from the back. As well, a reversal.
Right now, you can see that beautiful reversal by Alejandra Lara. She's in a half guard position, but she's got her head in a position. She can go for that arm triangle choke. It's a matter of, is that what she thinks that she can get The arm is not in place, and you're seeing that Watanabe is now going for a Kimura grip.
As expected, a highly competitive affair here between Kana Watanabe, the undefeated judoka from Japan, and Alejandra Lara.
I'd like to see Lara step over the head and turn this around with that Kimura grip.
Lara proudly representing Colombia as Watanabe looking for potential submission attempt here. Wow, right to Lara's back.
Going right to the back from this position.
Amazing.
All based off of the Kimura grip and the threat of that setup, that reversal for Kana Watanabe.
Lara was forced to submit to an Alimale McFarlane in her championship fight, and now trying to defend against Kana Watanabe here with 45 seconds left in the second round.
Right now, Watanabe, her right arm is being secured by Alejandra Lara. She's got a baseball grip on that, knowing that if I keep that in position where I have it, I'm at least going to be safe from the submission of the choke or anything like that.
Trying to flatten out. Lara does so. Lara turning over now, eating some of these right hands from Kana Watanabe.
Nice job of movement by Lara. Get her out of that position. See Watanabe trying to stick on the back, but she's a little bit high. She's going to go for the arm right now.
Stop. Stop. Release. Let go. Good. Third round.
The bell goes, they touch gloves. Lara in the red gloves, Watanabe in the blue gloves. Lara from the southpaw stance started karate at the age of 4, so both of them beginning their respective martial arts journeys young, and Watanabe walking into the strikes of Lara. And
that was a beautiful straight left hand by Lara landing. And you're seeing that she's getting smart about when Watanabe's trying to put her hands on her, she's not only pushing away, she's starting to circle out of it.
Adjustments you would like to see both fighters make here in the final 5 minutes, John.
One of the things I'd like to see with Lara is I want her to think about her footwork when she is striking. She's getting herself, she's starting to crush that distance on herself. You don't want that to happen. And with Watanabe, she needs to be accurate right now in her takedown effects. When you get these opportunities, get your hand on your opponent, do not let them pass by. And she did it. Very nice job by Watanabe.
Takedown again by Watanabe into the close guard of Alejandra Lara. A minute and a half gone here in the third and final round.
Alejandra is good off of her back, but she needs to now, at this point, try to at least control the arm, control the position, open up the guard, put her feet on hips. You can't sit there with a closed guard holding on to your opponent for too long. This right now is exactly where Watanabe wants to be, Mauro, because she's going to be winning here. She's landing the heavier shots. As time goes by, this is good for her. Lara's got to be the one to say, okay, I got to get on my horse and start to really move now.
Watanabe wanting to remain undefeated, move one step closer to an opportunity at the flyweight championship, currently around the waist of Juliana Velasquez. You know, the likes of Alimale McFarlane, the former champion, Liz Carmouche, Denise Kielholtz, and others would love to get that 125 crown, but here to kick things off at Bellator 255, Kana Watanabe maintaining top position on Alejandra Lara after a very competitive and rather even opening 10 minutes. On your unofficial scorecard, you have the fight even, but Lara's got to start to Deep, deep.
She's gonna have to do something because, you know, Watanabe has moved herself into a half guard position. She feels very good here. She wants to stay in this position. Look at the figure four that she has on the leg. That's telling you, I want to hold on to that leg. And she's just systematically hitting her with strikes. All the points are just adding up in her court.
Where else have we seen that figure four around the legs where you neutralize?
There was a guy,
all-time greats.
Yeah, some guy named Nurmagomedov who's doing quite a bit.
Nice segue, by the way. We've got a Nurmagomedov coming up here on Bellator 255. Usman Nurmagomedov, undefeated, much anticipated debut against Mike Hamill, but right now it's Kana Watanabe looking to remain unbeaten, and she continues to smother Alejandra Lara.
Yeah, absolutely. This is right now. Lara's got to go. She's got to say, you know, I'm going to lose this fight if I don't take a big chance right here. So take the chance, go, explode, make her have to really work to stay on you. But right now with that figure four on that leg, she's stuck.
And yeah, that's it. She is trying. Kana Watanabe has her tied up in knots. Less than a minute remaining in the third and final round. And Watanabe feeding some left hands to the face of Lara. Just continuing to smother her.
Almost full mount right now. We're looking at what we call quarter guard or three-quarter mount. All she got to do is get that leg free. Foot's right there.
30 seconds left in the fight. And Watanabe continues to be a weighted blanket on Lara, but Lara not feeling very secure. She's in trouble. Here's Watanabe going for the choke.
He is going for the choke, putting a lot of pressure on that.
Wins her in the judo takedown again here, keeping Lara on the canvas.
Lara doing everything she can, just not strong enough to get away from Watanabe.
What a fight for Watanabe, especially in that third round as she controlled Alejandra Lara. They go the distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Your first judge, Brian Miner, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Lara. Your second judge, Michael Bell, scores it 29-28. He sees the fight for Watanabe. Your third and final judge at cage side, Sal D'Amato, scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Kana Watanabe.
That was one beautiful fight by Kana Watanabe. I do not believe that the judge that gave that actual fight on his cards to Alejandra Lara was looking at that the right way. It was Kana Watanabe that deserved this victory. That was a beautifully hard-fought battle. Congratulations to Kana Watanabe.
The wrestler stands undefeated as a mixed martial artist at 3-0, with all three victories by way of knockout. Representing Team Oyama from Torrance, California, introducing Carla Esparza. And across the cage, her adversary fighting out of the blue corner. She wears the white and pink at 5'3". She weighed in at 115 1/2 pounds. With a black belt in both judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the catch wrestler brings an incredible undefeated professional record of 20-0, with one victory by knockout, 16 by way of submission. Representing AACC, the female fighter widely recognized as one of the world's pound-for-pound best from Okayama, Japan, presenting Megumi Fuji.
I'll see you soon.
And the third man inside the Bellator cage, the referee, Tony Wah.
Ladies, we all know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Let's touch gloves, go back to your corner. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
One of the best heavyweights in all of mixed martial arts, Josh Barnett, the main trainer of Megumi Fuji.
I was talking to Barnett a couple weeks ago at a grappling tournament. All he talked about was how hard Fuji is training.
This, our first women's 115-pound tournament quarterfinal. Carla Esparza in the black trunks. Megumi Fuji in the white and pink trunks. The bell in round number one. Body kick there from Fuji.
Now, what impressed me in her last fight against Sarah Schneider was Fuji's footwork. She angled very, very well. She's not a knockout puncher, but her angling was spectacular.
Nice combination by Fuji. Said that she's really been working on her striking, specifically has been working separate from Josh Barnett with a pure boxing coach.
Same boxing coach as Akihiro Gono, outstanding striker in Japan. Carla can't be intimidated. She has to come out here to fight.
Troy Waz, the referee, nicely keeping his distance, letting the action flow here in the opening round. Another body kick from Fuji.
Good head movement by Fuji. She's not being a stable target.
Esparza entering at 3-0, made her pro MMA debut February 19th of this year. Two undefeated fighters with very different journeys to get to the Bellator cage tonight.
Good combination at the end by Esparza. And that's what Esparza has to do. She has to use her wrestling to keep this fight on the feet, use it defensively, turn it into a kickboxing match.
Esparza, even with that collegiate wrestling background at Menlo College, said that she wants to keep this fight standing. And she was very honest in our fighter meeting, Jimmy. She said, realistically, my way of winning is by decision. Good sprawl there from Esparza.
"20 victories. Her fight against Sarah Schneider last time in Bellator, her only win by TKO. She has boxing skills. Certainly you wouldn't call her a finisher with her hands.
Again, a record of 20-0 entering this bout for Megumi Fuji. 16 of those 20 wins either by submission or technical submission.
Now, Fuji wants this fight on the ground. Looks like she's willing to pull guard to get it, but right now driving forward. Let's see what the judo black belt can do against the wrestling All-American.
Judo black belt there. Fuji was fishing for the outside trip, couldn't find it. Knee to the body by Fuji. Esparza does not look intimidated at all, to her credit, Jimmy. Warning of elbows there by referee Troy Waugh.
I'll go for that inside judo throw, but Carlos Esparza, great balance, staying on the feet. This has already gone a lot longer than a lot of people thought it would. Crowd really getting into this.
Big ovation from the fans here at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
I think Esparza is following the right game plan, staying on her feet. Hey, turn it into a kickboxing match. Certainly don't want a grappling match with Fuji.
Just a rangefinder kick there by Fuji. No danger of striking target. Knee there by Esparza. Pushing her opponent back.
Now, Esparza said, my best chance of winning is with the decision, but that takes a lot of gas, and she's a last-minute replacement. Oh, going for the leg lock.
Fuji looking to finish with the leg lock here in round number one.
Heel hook right now. Esparza trying to put a lot of weight on that leg.
Esparza trying to get her way out, and she may be in real trouble now, Jimmy.
Oh, it looks like she might have that foot out, but now Megumi going for the toe hold.
There's a lot of crank on that toe hold, and Esparza finds her way out.
Now that's good. That's an excellent transition by the veteran Fuji. When you don't have the submission, if they're getting out, sit up, get on top of them. A lot of people don't do that. They hang on too long and end up on the bottom. Now this is exactly where Fuji wants to be. So dominant against Sarah Schneider from the top, using her ground and pound.
See, Esparza has the right arm of Fuji trapped. Now, Esparza just playing defense at the moment.
Now, one thing Esparza wants to do that Sarah Schneider did effectively is she held Fuji close to her, was able to stall out and get a lot of stand-ups. That might be the right strategy for Esparza tonight. Just hold on, stall, don't let Fuji pass your guard, wait for the referee to stand it up.
3 knees there from Fuji.
Improve your position.
Sneaky little right from the bottom by Carla Esparza. See the knees to the thigh there by Fuji. And a stand-up order by referee Troy Waugh.
I think that's a good job by Esparza. Keep her close, let them stand it up again, and turn it into a kickboxing match.
Closing seconds of our opening round. This, our opening quarterfinal in Bellator's inaugural women's tournament, contested at 115 pounds. We are headed to round number 2.
faith in her coaches. She told us that in the interview. She said, I do what my coaches tell me.
Barnett in the corner of Fuji, Santana in the corner of Esparza.
Now, you saw at the end of that first round, Esparza went for a takedown kind of on instinct, and it was submission city. Fuji went for a Kimura, rolled right in, almost took her back. That's the danger in shooting on Fuji. If there had been more time, she would have been in serious trouble.
Round number 2 underway. Esparza is in the black trunks, Fuji in the white and pink trunks.
Rolling for the knee bar now. Now, Fuji is so good at blending her takedowns with her submissions. It looks like a trip or a throw, and she's rolling right to a leg lock.
Fuji going back to what she does best, the submission game, especially the lower body submission game.
Now rolling to the knee bar.
And again, Esparza escapes.
Now, Esparza looks a little slower in this round.
There's the tap! I believe you call that a belly down Jujigatami in Japan, Jimmy.
Yeah, let's just say armbar, because we're here in America. Beautiful straight armbar. That transition game, that's what she's so good at. As soon as Esparza got caught in that kind of game, I feel like it was only a matter of time. Beautiful job by Fuji.
To be fair, they wouldn't say belly down in Japan. Straight armbar. Devastating start and then finish to round number 2 for Fuji.
Yeah, credit to Esparza. She hung tough on the feet, played a good defensive game, but as the fight wore on, you know, Fuji just figured out how to not take her down, but roll those takedowns into submissions, and beautiful job. That's why she's now 21-0. Unbelievable.
57 seconds of round number 2. Fuji moderately perhaps frustrated in round number 1, no frustration in round number 2.
Well, I think she saw that a kickboxing battle, why I gave her the first round. I thought she was slightly ahead in that kickboxing match, but you know, her game is on the ground, and as soon as she figured out how to get there, clock was ticking for Esparza. You see here, Esparza very tired, trying to hang on to that single leg. Fuji doing a great job stepping over, straightening that arm. Esparza trying to roll, but a lot of crank on that arm. You see the tap with the left hand, and that's it. Another submission victory for Fuji. She loves that armbar. Now, people talk about her leg locks, her megu lock. Really, her specialty is the armbar. Beautiful job. Her and Jiva can debate about who's the arm collector here. That was a beautiful job.
No shame for Carla Esparza, stepping up, taking this fight on Saturday night, but victory for Megumi Fuji.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tap out comes at 57 seconds into round number 2 via armbar. The winner by submission, now earning her place in the Bellator Women's 115-pound tournament, Megumi Megu Fuji.
I'm here with your winner, Megumi Fuji. Carla Esparza, very tough in the first round. Very difficult fight. Is that the kind of fight you expected?
Yes. She's very strong.
Look at the replay here. The end of the fight, armbar, submission. You get a lot of those. That seems to be your favorite move.
I got the armbar.
Outstanding job. Beautiful transitions. Tell us about how you feel about taking on all these amazing female fighters in this tournament.
I will do my best for my next fight.
Thank you. Your winner, Megumi Fuji, ladies and gentlemen.
With that second round submission victory, Megumi Fuji.
Simply put, take a look, 73.5 for Shurkevich, who likes the stand-up. We're going to see if Kikuiri, with that 75.5-inch reach, takes advantage of it.
Pretty cool start to a special night. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, aloha and welcome to Bellator Hawaii, our second straight event here at the Blaisdell in Honolulu. As we get set now to kick off the prelims at Bellator 295, we'll do it with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 169 pounds, his professional record, 8 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, presenting Masayuki Kikuiri. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, at 6 foot, weighing in 170.8 pounds. As a professional, he brings 13 victories, 5 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Alexei Shurkevich. And your referee in charge, Kevin Yoshida.
Go, back. Ready? Fight!
John, what's the first thing you're looking at? Fighters you've watched on video over and over and over again, then you see them live. What are you looking at?
You know, the first thing you're looking at is the way that they cover range, cover distance, because that's everything in them getting in you. When you think you're safe and all of a sudden that guy's touching you, you've got to have that understanding of where your range is. That's the first thing you're looking at when you come into that closing of that gap. Can I control the distance, or is this guy the one that is doing it? I need to change it up.
King of Pancrase, sort of a legendary title. It has some great names attached to it that you know. Nate Marquardt.
Beautiful.
Shamrock. Really good one.
Frank Shamrock, Ken Shamrock, Boss Rudin.
So
Masa Funaki.
Namfon. So if you've beaten a king, does that make, because Josh has a win, you know, against the king of, so does that make you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, just want to clarify.
Shurkevich really landed a beautiful right hand.
We were talking about Andre Koreshkov before. There was a time it looked like, and that's another one that got in. There was a time it looked like Andre Koreshkov was going to reign for years and years. He won the title so young, so dominant. He beating Douglas Lima, and then the win over Ben Henderson.
Boy, that Ben Henderson fight, I can remember back to how hard he was hitting Ben Henderson, and I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
There's no way Henderson can survive. He survived the fight, but boy, did he take some damage.
Go back and watch the first round of that fight. It's amazing Ben Henderson got through that first round. That was a 50-45, 50-44 kind of fight.
Yep.
That's another right that got through. You can already see some damage on the face of Kikuiri.
Shurkevich's been really good with his straight shots. The looping ones, he's like you're seeing right there. He's throwing the hooks. He's throwing the big overhand right. Those haven't been really touching, but the straight shots he's been very accurate with. There you go. Another one.
Cut, time. Neutral corner, neutral corner. Wait, neutral corner.
That doesn't need a translator
Time.
or any language issue there.
Hey,
No.
stay in your neutral corner. Stay in your neutral corner.
Which is interesting is, of course, the obligatory instant replay of the low blow.
Okay.
The one thing
Okay.
that you never need confirmed.
Yep, ready? Fight!
And yet, we always have video confirmation. It's interesting talking about the language barrier, because if you were with us last night, we had a disqualification in a fight that had to do with the language barrier, where a fighter did not understand, presumably, what an official was telling him, and it cost him the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that language barrier, it could be a problem. As a referee, you've got to be able to figure out, how am I going to communicate and make this fighter understand when I need something known, he gets it.
Whose responsibility is it?
It's a referee's. But you do that in the back. You do that through, you'll give them hand signals if that's what it takes. You'll tell me the word that you're going to understand when I say this, and then I'll use that word. So you've got to make it to where it's fair for both. You can't just use your language and expect them to understand.
You've probably got some stories about that.
Oh, just a couple. But you learn over time.
Shurkevich, but until he got caught, he was feeling too comfortable.
He had landed some good shots right in that exchange. Opened up a little bit, and you saw Kikuiri took advantage of it, landed a clean shot off of that. Very smart move right now by Shurkevich. You see him holding on, just slowing things down, making it to where He gets recovery time in the middle of the fight. He's recovering from that blow. Like you had said, Kikuiri, most of his wins. Oh, that's a good shot right there. He just landed a clean one.
A right hook on the escape is what set that up. Good left jab from Kikuiri. He was coming from way behind in this first round. Shurkevich just landed some big shots.
And right now, as you're seeing Kikuiri looking for that takedown, that's telling you that he's been buzzed. He likes to be in the stand-up game, so doesn't utilize his grappling a ton.
That level change didn't look like someone who's done it a lot.
No, that was not what you call a clean move.
Good first round for Shurkevich.
Take a look at all the movement of, exactly, you're looking at Shurkevich and that movement, but it's all for a reason. He's taking his head off the center line all the time, comes in, looks like he's giving a level change just to make his opponent think, do I have to protect myself against the takedown? All smart movement. Clubbing right hand that landed. Man, that was good.
Just enough leg kicks, keeping him honest.
One of the things to look at, Sean, as you're just looking at both guys right now, take a look at the head placement of both. You're seeing that Shurkevich is moving his head in and out, a little bit off center each way when he comes in, and Kikuiri straight down the center line. Take a look, not a whole lot of movement of the head. It's a target for Shurkevich to be able to zero in on.
Target he has found often.
Little subtle movements make big differences in the fight.
What makes movement stop? Getting hit in the face.
Movement stops usually when you get stung. Power and someone now not knowing what to do.
Fought once before in Bellator on the undercard of Fedor's fight in Moscow.
Again, take a look. Right down the center line, even when he throws it. That's why that target's there for him.
The only time his head is moving is when it's getting knocked backwards.
Or when it's looking like a Pez dispenser.
That's good.
Nice heavy right hand by Shurkevich.
That's still a thing? Kids still eat the Pez? I mean, that's it.
My grandkids love those.
Really clean fight here so far from Shurkevich. That one mistake where he got caught late in the first round.
Well, this is when you're looking at it, it's the perfect dance partner for him, especially from the camp that he comes from. They love the stand-up game. They love working angles, setting things up all through the stand-up. He'll go to the ground, but they love the stand-up, and so that's what he has here in front of him.
that was what made Koreshkov so tough. And remember, he got dominated by Ben Askren. And then later, when he won the world title, he did it with takedowns against Douglas Lima.
Good clean hand, right hand by Kikuiri.
His best one of the rounds.
A bit of damage showing on the left eye area of Kikuiri. All those right hands.
That started early.
Oh, he's out.
Big shot, we're done. That's all he needed. Deep into minute 10 of taking shot after shot after shot. It was a small window for Kikuiri late in the first round, and a much bigger one here.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 4 minutes, 33 seconds into round number 2 for the winner by knockout, Masayuki Kikuiri.
The tail of the tape. Look at the record, 6-2 for Hisaki Kato. All of his wins by knockout. 8-5 for AJ Matthews. 6 knockouts there.
A big night here at FedEx Forum in Memphis. It begins, as always, with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. As tonight, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA live on Spike from the FedEx Forum here in Memphis. We begin with 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division, brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 5'11", weighing in 186 pounds even. His professional record, 8 wins, 5 defeats. From Carlsbad, California, he fights out of Manila, Philippines. Introducing AJ, the Mercenary Matthews. And across the cage, fighting out of the red corner at 6'1", weighing in 185 pounds. As a professional, 6 victories, 2 losses from Nagoya, Japan, presenting Hisaki Kato. In charge of the action, your referee, Blake Grice.
We are in the closing weeks of the old, I guess we'll call them now, the old unified rules of MMA. Changes coming in 2017, but we're still on the 10-point must system for now. There'll be a lot of changes we'll be talking about in the weeks and months to come.
Here we go, gentlemen. You ready? You ready? Let's fight!
Hisaki Kato has 6 wins, all by knockout. AJ Matthews has 8 wins, 6 of those by knockout. There is the key number. They happen fast.
Nice body kick. AJ Matthews has great Muay Thai himself. What he tends to do is just kind of wait for the perfect shot. He has a tendency to not throw when he needs to. He needs to throw against Hisaki Kato.
Spent much of the last year in the Philippines as AJ Matthews. Changed up the way he trains.
Everything he talked about leading up to his fight was mental. He talked about his headspace, trying to stay relaxed, trying to refocus himself. This guy who got by, he said, on his athleticism, he can't do that anymore.
He said, explain it to me. He talked about point break. Didn't respect the wave. Didn't respect the cage. Didn't respect the game. Said eventually that time runs out on you.
Oh, nice shot.
Overhand left. AJ Matthews quickly scrambles, trying to tie Kato up, stay out of the range.
Kato's the busier fighter. AJ Matthews answering back with power. Good right hand. That hurt Kato. Kato is on rubber legs right now. AJ Matthews just looking at him. I think he really has him hurt, Sean.
He does. Hisaki Kato, you see his balance is not right. And AJ Matthews giving him time to get his head clear.
Nice jab. Look at that. That wobbled him. And AJ needs to swarm right now and giving Kato time to get back in this fight. You tell the way Kato's breathing, he's trying to get it back. We've all been there. In a fight and in sparring where you're like trying to breathe, trying to relax. Nice body kick again. I don't think we're likely to see a round 2 here, Sean. Good stuff again by Kato. And I think that body kick is making AJ Matthews hesitate with the right hand. He wants to keep his elbow tight to block the body kick.
AJ Matthews never changed when he hurt Kato. Yep. He never reacted to it. That's what everybody's been waiting to see. They want to see the overdrive from AJ Matthews.
He's also answering with the left hook. When AJ comes in and gets reckless, Kato with that step, that check punch from the southpaw stance. There it is again.
Got him with it again.
Usually it's a lead hook, but Kato has a strange step back check hook from the southpaw stance with the left hand. AJ got hurt. He get thumbed in the eye, I think.
That slows down a furious pace.
Let's talk. How you doing?
That fight was a firestorm right up until that point.
Let's get the doc in here. What do you say?
Blake Rice trying to talk AJ Matthews into bringing a doctor in, and that's what's going to happen.
All right, here we go.
Looks like he's back, ready for more.
Watch these first few seconds and watch how AJ Matthews comes out.
Here we go. Time in. Fight. Let's keep it clean, guys.
Left gets through. And remember, it was Kana who got wobbled earlier, so he benefits from that stoppage.
Same combo. Body kick, left hand. That's been the combination. Body kick to the ribs, straight left over the top.
This is a tough round to call.
Yeah. And once again, it's been the activity level of AJ Matthews. I thought he had Hisaki Kato hurt, but he's taken his foot off the gas and let Hisaki Kato back into the fight. He's very accurate, is Kato with his strikes. And went to the head. That's what happens when you hit those rib shots. You go over the top. Now AJ Matthews is rocked. Nice uppercut. He's hurt.
Kato has that left wound up. AJ Matthews trying to cover up. He's in a world of trouble. Hammer fist raining down from Hisaki Kato. AJ Matthews trying to turn out of the storm.
Watch the back of the head. Watch the back of the head. Keep it clean.
A furious opening round, just as we expected.
AJ Matthews is in big trouble. He's got to survive another 15 seconds.
Kato teeing off with lefts. A ferocious first round, and AJ Matthews won't survive it.
Gotcha, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the first round, official time, 4 minutes, 58 seconds. It comes to an end. The winner by TKO, Hisaki Kato.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Francis Ngannou. Subscribe now.